What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. We are back today with a loaded episode talking about World Cup things, Villa things, player things, probably a lot of other waffle as well that we like to talk about because we talk about all sorts here on Every Week We Follow. If you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button. If you are someone that likes the video, hit that little thumbs up and obviously let us know down in the comments what your thoughts are on all the topics as well. We are going to be talking about Mr. Super John McGinn and his escapades with Scotland. We are going to be talking about Marlon and how I'm looking at him going, only if. Rodgers and the whole Anderson saga and that kind of like valuation kind of stuff that we're all keeping eyes on at the moment. Emi Martinez with the Juventus stuff, and then visit Rwanda as well, slapping themselves on our sleeve, and also some boards in the stadium as well. But first, Gary, how are you? You're very tired, aren't you? You've been following some games that no one else is watching.
Mate, I think I've overcommitted here. Obviously, I've been trying to do little bits because the problem is, right, so this is what I've worked out in the last 72 hours, right, is that obviously the World Cup's here. It's brilliant. There's loads of football on. Right, I wasn't really feeling it. I am a little bit now. However, if you are planning, like me, to try and stay awake and watch 2 a.m. games and 4 a.m. games, right, and then try and function as a normal adult in the day when you're in your 40s, right, you can't then get content out quick enough, right? Because I'm not a multi-billion-dollar organisation. So if I'm up until 4 a.m., 1 second.
Oh, we've lost him. But it's also like, because with that, it's also a case of, like you said, no one else is up at that time watching you. No one's going to be there. So it's going to be very much lives with about 3 people. And 2, the other, like, I was thinking about this. I think they were talking about in Talk Sport, and they were like, when you think about it, and you'll see like a kickoff, it's like 1 a.m. and it's like, oh, that's not too bad. But then, no, you're watching it till 3. So if you're watching that 3 a.m. kickoff, guys, you're there till 5 when I'm waking up.
Mate, apologies to the 12 people that did watch along with us our night. I was the ADHD insomniacs, right? I fell asleep twice during, what game was it? I think it might have been the Scotland. No, it wasn't the Scotland game. It was the USA game, which I enjoyed. Second half, though, I was struggling towards the end. I was just like, oh my God.
It's kind of pointless as well because you're not actually taking in the game then or concentrating on it.
And I don't know if you've ever been on TikTok Live, but the way that works is that the person on TikTok Live needs to be interactive, I suppose. Otherwise, you're just looking at a fat ball man sleep, and I don't think anyone wants to do that, right? So, I'm going to pick and choose the games, mate. I've tried it, I give it a go, but I was trying to do a daily diary of like the Villa players and stuff. Now, yesterday I was so ruined, right? Because I spent 2 nights up, and yesterday I then had to take Ava to, she had a match yesterday, so I had to leave here at 9:30. So I didn't get to bed till nearly 4 after watching the Scotland game. Well, no, I'll come to bed at half time and fell asleep watching the second half in bed because I was just dead, right? Then I got up, taken over, and I got back from Ava's football, mate, and me and Sarah fell out because I was in a fucking foul mood, basically. Yeah, I didn't get any content put out because I just couldn't function, and
don't do it, mate. Don't do it. Quality over quantity, I think, is the
quality over quantity. So, but I am going to put some stuff out there because I wanted to talk a little bit about obviously the Villa players, and I think as it happens, is all right, right? So obviously Evann Guessand, Ivory Coast played yesterday, although he was, I think he was an unused substitute, didn't play. So there, but Victor Lindelof, and turned up for Sweden. They won 5-1, and there's been some great games. So I've actually enjoyed it. The Brazil Morocco game was outstanding. The America game versus Paraguay, outstanding games, really entertaining. Really enjoyed them. So there's been some. I'm just focusing on the football, right, and not about all the other stuff around the World Cup. And obviously, one of the big things mentioned is about the 48 teams and how obviously Germany winning yesterday 7-1. Lots of stuff on social media this morning. What's the point? Should have just kept it to 32, like it's better quality. And while that's a valid point, right, and you want to see quality football, at the same time, the World Cup, I often link back to the Olympics, right? It's a chance to represent your country on the world stage, and the more people that can do that, the better, right? Yes, you're going to see teams get spanked, but you watch one of those lower ranked teams turn up and actually perform, right?
Well, it's like the FA Cup, right?
Yeah.
You've got the National League teams that can come up and turn up and beat Crystal Palace, the lowest ranked team in the entire tournament, can knock out the winners, and that's what makes it so great.
And just for a brief second yesterday, Curacao equalised against Germany. It was 1-1. Do you know what I mean? And that euphoria, like,
and that for them as a nation is incredible. And like we were talking about off air, you were saying about it becomes like a bit of an advertisement piece for those players. You know, those players who plays in those teams might get picked up by some kind of European team, or might get picked up by an MLS team or something like that. That really elevates their career.
Yeah. So mate, we are day 4, 5 into it now, and I think I'm getting a little bit of World Cup fever. I'm looking forward to Wednesday now.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm getting ready for that, and for us all to be brought back down to earth by us maybe scraping a 1-0. That's
keep the faith, mate. I've been asked many times by the 12 people on my TikTok live, who do I think is going to win the tournament? And I'm going England, mate. I'm going England.
Are you going in for it? You're going in for it?
I'm gonna fuck it. Why not, mate? Right?
I've got to wait. I've got to wait until we see them on Wednesday.
No, well, maybe, but I'm going to put it out there. So if it happens, like I say, I said it from the start, right? That there is enough in that team, and I think under Tommy Tuchel, I think the way he plays in the system and using the correct players that are in form, I think we've got enough going forward. And then actually, when you go back, if you're playing with Declan Rice, Elliot Anderson, Konza and Gay at the back, mate, you've got a solid core there.
We'll get onto our main points in a sec. I suppose this could bring us maybe onto Rodgers a little bit, because the two things I heard on from Stuart Pearce on TalkSport was that the word is Bellingham's getting the nod in the first game over Rodgers, and Stones is getting the nod over Gay. So it might actually be Konsa Stones as the centre-back pairing.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Just when you might have to.
We don't know. It could be a load of bullshit, but
it could be.
That's what we're hearing.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Like, I just think there's enough there to kind of cause anybody in the world problems. Like, you know, we've been so close, and whereas Southgate couldn't get us over the line, I think Tommy Tuchel's got the credentials to get us over the line, to go that one step further. Right now, obviously, it might all fall apart, but you got to keep the faith, right? And I've just got a feeling. I've got a feeling that I played football on Saturday. By the way, I just want to do a shout. This is completely off piece, right? But I got a message off a mate a couple of weeks ago to say he'd not been very well, and he didn't really go into any details, but he reached out and said, "Look, I'd really love to get together with all the old, our old friends that we used to play football with in the park, like 30, 40 years ago. We've all kind of relatively kept in contact. We played football in our teens and in our early 20s, but obviously since then we've all kind of drifted apart, got married, had kids and all that kind of stuff." And so he said, "Look, I want to put on a match, and just it'd be great to have a kickabout with you all. I've got a club that's willing to let us use their pitch and all that kind of." So we did, and he put it out, and unfortunately, as it is, life gets in the way. Some people couldn't make it because they were away on holiday and etc. etc. So we got about 8 of us, right? But then I took Ava and my nephew, right? Ava basically embarrassed us all, scored 8 goals, right? We're all like fucking all 50. She's 16.
Love it, mate. So good.
The chairman of the Leafield Athletic was going, "Oh, we've got a women's team. Like, she interested past. She's already signed a contract, mate. I can't. My hands are tied. I'm sorry. She's playing for another team." Anyway, great conference. But one of my mates is from Germany, from Hamburg, I believe, Felix, and haven't seen him for ages. And just having a chat to him after the game about Germany and England and Tommy Tuchel and stuff. And he said, "Look, knowing Tommy Tuchel, he'll want to beat Germany if you play him in the final. It'll be a personal thing because of not being either selected as the national coach or being ridiculed when he was at Bayern Munich. All these things, he's got like a point to prove. Like, there's no loyalties." I was like, "That's interesting." So I think Tommy Tuchel could be the man for the job. That's a long-winded, but a big shout out to my mate Andy Pittaway, who, he's going through a procedure on Wednesday. That I don't know. I won't go into detail about it. Once I know more about how it goes, I'll talk about it. But I think it's a big shout out that, you know what, if you've got people in your life that you used to get on with and maybe haven't reached out to, just do it, man. Because life is short, and I don't know what the outcome will be in that, but it's pretty serious, I think. And it was nice to kind of catch up, and it puts things into perspective. And actually, that was, I know we get caught up in our day to day, but it took one afternoon out of my life. And actually, it was we had a great time. Watched the Tar Switzerland game afterwards as well, which wasn't so great. But it was just nice to catch up. And I think, like you say, if you've got anyone in your life that if you're going through stuff, reach out to your boys and your friends and just try and get together, man, because it might never happen. So yeah, I know that's a bit deep, mate, but I just wanted to give that shout out on the pod.
No, it's fair. Yeah. I mean, I always try to keep in touch with people and reach out wherever I can. So yeah, always try and see what people are up to. Right, quickly onto the World Cup then. So two things. So John McGinn and Marlon, give me your thoughts, Gaz. Obviously, Super John McGinn. It wasn't the prettiest goal in the world, but it was a massive goal for Scotland.
Well, mate, just like he said in his post-match interview, mate, this guy gets me by the short. I was almost, he was in tears, mate. Like how much it meant to him. So it doesn't matter how it goes, and if it deflects off to they won the game. He said we knew we needed to win this game. We've won the game. It doesn't matter how the goal goes in. Like the sheer euphoria, how much it means to him. This is what I guess we as Villa fans and Scotland fans get, right. That emotional connection, because we know that this guy is just the real deal, right? I mean, even after he's walking off the pitch, there's a fan going mad. She drops her phone, right? And he walks back, picks it up, takes a selfie with her, and gives her a phone back. Like this guy's a legend, mate. And he got man of the match as well. I watched the game. Well, I've watched the first half, and he didn't have his best game, if I'm honest. I think he gets it because it's their first goal in 28 years in a World Cup or whatever. But the heart and desire he brings to your team, I just love the man. Like I was just a total Scotland fan, mate. The other night I was falling. I couldn't. I know we're supposed to. There's been stuff on TalkSport this morning about various people wearing different shirts because what was he wearing a Germany shirt? What was he wearing an Argentina shirt? Like, mate, it's a nice shirt, right? It's just football, like celebrating the teams that are playing. And actually, when you've got connection to players, because of how global football is now and how connected we get to these players at club level, I think there is an element for lots of people that go, yeah, I'm going to support them. If I'm not supporting my country, you can class that divide. Whereas I don't want to label people, but you've got the traditionalist, haven't you? England, Germany, with our arch rivals. Yeah, like, mate, we fought world wars like it's over. Like just with peace, a time of relative peace. So I just for that reason alone, McGinn for me, the only word that comes to mind, mate, is inspirational. I've just been inspired by this guy, and I'll follow Scotland deeply. And obviously, if we came across him in the tournament at any point, my allegiance would go with England. And it's interesting because not so long ago, McGinn and Watkins were talking about this, and Watkins said, "Oh, I'd be supporting you if when England aren't playing." And then McGinn was like, "Don't be daft. I'm never saying that. I want you to do well, but not like it's." Once it's off. So it's interesting. Even McGinn probably wouldn't give a shit about England, but again, that's because of the horrific crimes we've probably got against so many people around the world. So it's easiest in a place of privilege. But yeah, and moving on to Donyell Marlon, mate. I watched that first half. Yeah, mate. In the first half, because he got subbed in the second half, didn't he? But he reminded me of what he brought at Villa. Lively, mate, linking up really well with Gakpo, playing centrally, by the way, and causing Japan all kinds of problems, and it will always be, is he the one that got away? And we'll never really know. People can have their opinion and go, no, he wasn't good enough as a number 9. But he played like 3 times in that role, mate. And I just don't think that was enough. He never got enough minutes. And in the minute, his goals to minutes ratio is incredible. And obviously, yes, he's gone to Serie A, and we can all say it's not the same standard as the Premier League. But you've still got to do it. And he's finished top goal scorer in Serie A in half a season. So yes, it's not as good as the Premier League, but just given time, maybe just given time in that Villa squad, like, he could have been a player for us. And yeah, I hope it's not the one that got away. And let's hope he doesn't come back to haunt us at some point in this tournament.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it just didn't. For whatever reason, Emery just didn't see him as that person. for that position. I mean, yeah, like we said, we saw snippets of it, didn't we? We liked the fact he was so direct. It was like more like a kind of a Rashford style, like attacker, striker. But it just, for whatever reason, Emery's just felt like it didn't fit his system potentially. I mean, he was consummate professional. He was left out of the Champions League squad. He was left, and all those kind of things. And he's gone on and he's just proved he is a very, very good striker. And like I said, sliding doors, we don't know how he would have done at Villa. We don't know a parallel universe that we could have gone, oh, play him there. See, we can't A/B test. We can't have the two running side by side. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But we can only see what we saw. And obviously we still managed to finish the season strong, but it is this little bit of a case of what if? If he was around?
My only thing is that I can only imagine that he was, like you say, the consummate professional, but knocking on Emery's door every week going, why aren't I playing? Do you know what I mean? And kind of, it's a World Cup. Yeah, I want to be going to the World Cup. And, we've talked about this before. Strangely, like he pursued Marlon for 3 years, mate. Do you know what I mean? And,
but he's done this, supposedly done the same with Tammy.
And so the only difference is, I think Tammy's happy to sit on the bench and not and be that, where Marlon's probably gone, no, I want minutes, and then you go, I can't. And then Marlon got to the point where you couldn't justify not playing him. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it was the whole thing, though, wasn't it? Of like, he's not a winger, he's not a striker, he's not a 10, he's not. So I think he found it difficult to work out where to place him. He didn't want to play him in 9 because he wanted Watkins. That was his man.
Yeah.
So he's playing second fiddle to Watkins, whereas Marlon's like, no, I can play with him. And then they did, and that Burnley game, and it worked. And it's just, we don't know.
Yeah, like we'll never know. But look, he looked sharp yesterday. He did. No, he didn't play the full 90, but he did look sharp. And it's only one game, obviously. But I was a fan, and it's a shame that we, like I say, I hope he doesn't come back to haunt us. And it's just, I find it really strange though to pursue players for that length of time, to not have an idea of how you're going to fit them into your system. Do you know what I mean? Like you go, well, surely in terms of, if you're chasing a player for 3 years, you know what he can do and what you're expecting him to do, and then it doesn't.
I mean, you can obviously see qualities in them, and then you can kind of go and you can see what they're doing at their current club, and you can kind of go, well, okay, actually, we need X. Maybe he can adapt to that, or maybe we can tweak this. But obviously, you don't see them in training day in, day out. So then once you see that, maybe there are things that just like, oh, that's a bit of they need to adapt, or they need to work on that. But then the player's maybe not very good at doing that, doesn't hit the ground running, doesn't quite get the minutes, so it all kind of snowballs potentially. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because did you see, just going back, that as how little we actually know what goes on behind closed doors, right? Because they interviewed Dean Smith about John McGinn, right? And this is going back to McGinn, but this is for the Scotland game. So I saw this before the Scotland game, and he was mentioning basically, obviously, full of praise for John McGinn. He spoke about that interview he did about how each manager has helped him develop, right? But even Dean Smith said about McGinn, like, he's not the best trainer, like, but on a Saturday when he turns up, he gives his all, and you go, and that surprised me a little bit about McGinn. You would expect
he said he hates training.
Yeah, but how he's developed, the only way you develop that is by putting. So I think it's one of them where he probably hates it, but just does. It's that
just gets on with it, right?
Well, it's that classic Mike Tyson. I mean, do the things you hate like you love them. Do you know what I mean? And see what happens. And that's the difference, right? There are probably players out there that go, fucking out training, and therefore don't apply themselves, don't do it, and they never get to that next level. Whereas this guy just, the fact that he hates training, if he still does it, again, it's just another big compliment to him as an individual.
Yeah, he's just brilliant, isn't he? It'll be such a sad day when he either retires or leaves or whatever it is, but he's brilliant. I just love having him around the club. Love what he's done for the club. Just love the guy. It's fantastic. Right, on to Rogers Anderson. So obviously Anderson, there's been supposed deals. Supposed offers turned down. I think the latest was a total package of 120 million. I think it was about 106 up front, 14 million of add-ons. Apparently, I don't know whether it's just like maybe the precedent has been set with that Isak deal, right? And they're saying no, this needs to be the biggest ever. What was it, 125 million? I think Isak. So the package, they want that to be in part of that.
You would be like, if you're Forest, you go in, let's just hang out to see how he does in the World Cup, because
Yeah,
if you
exactly,
want him,
right.
you're going to have to pay for him.
Well, City probably they want to get it wrapped up, right? They want to get it
Yeah.
wrapped up before that happens, because otherwise you get other suitors start to come in. You maybe get other teams who have got, oh, this player's decent. You know,
Yeah, but the
obviously
thing is, mate,
already.
like this is where the agents are going to be in his ear and go, we
Oh
don't do
yeah,
anything. We don't do anything until after the World Cup, because you potentially could be one of the starring players, and then we hold them for ransom because you've got other suitors. So if Man City, obviously, yes, Man City would want to get it wrapped up, but Forest, his agent, and Henderson will all probably go in. Well, I'm just going to focus, because I bet you any money, when asked any questions about it, be like, I'm just focusing on the World Cup. I'm just focusing on it, because obviously that's what you say, right? And he's right to do so, because, and it's similar with Rodgers, if they go out there, play and perform, and we end up winning the thing, mate. I beat the chef.
So I think there's a few. Well, I think there's a few factors here. So the thing is with the Anderson Forest deal, Forest they don't need to worry about like European SCR. Obviously, there's the Premier League SCR rules that come in, but they don't need to worry about that. They're like, I think they can spend. Like, I don't think they really need to worry too much. So in terms of them, they can sit and hold out. They can sit and hold out on this deal. He's their biggest player. Him and Gibbs White, you know, they're the two biggest players in their team. They don't need the money to be able to do anything in the market. Whereas for us, I think it's pretty widely known that supposedly we need, if we want to do anything because of the UEFA sanctions, if we want to do anything, we need outgoings. Now, the thing with that is that doesn't give us power, that doesn't give us leverage. So Forest can ask for these ridiculous fees because they're like, well, you either pay this or he's not going. Whereas for us, it's a case of, I'd like you to increase your offer, please. Yes, but you need the money. Yes, but I'd still like you to pay more, please. Like, it's kind of unless there becomes a bidding war, then we don't really have the power on this one.
Yeah, and that's the problem, right? That is the problem. It's we, and I know we've gone over this so many times during the season with this fucking piss. It's not fair, is it? Because Forest can battle relegation and play this game of, well, you can have to pay whatever you want. And we go, well, we've got £100 million player, but we're gonna have to accept 80 because we need the fucking money. When even though we've qualified for the Champions League and won a European trophy, mate, it boils my piss. It boils my piss so hot that I could fucking scream. So
and I'm sure someone will tell me. Someone will tell us if we're wrong in the comments, like that because I think that some people think we don't need. We've got some wiggle room. I don't know how much wiggle room, but it's the UEFA sanctions that are doing us. Like we basically have to net zero. Like we have to net positive. We can't just spend without selling.
Yeah, it's not a simple thing, is it? And people seem to be under. I've read a couple of things online where people are thinking that we should just be able to keep the players we've got and spend. I just don't see how that's possible.
No,
in my understanding,
it's not. It's like I said, it's not the SCR. It's not actually like the ratio. I mean, the ratio is a difficulty because of our wages, but actually, the thing is this UEFA sanction that we had last season because we broke the rules, and it's a 2-year thing. So we basically have to pass every deal that we're doing by UEFA and be like, is this okay? So without those sales, that's why we can't do it, because it's nothing really to do with past income and all that kind of like revenue stuff. It's very much this season we can't spend more than we bring in. So it doesn't matter about everything else. It doesn't matter about the Champions League money and all that kind of stuff. It's literally, I believe, it's pretty much like kind of that simple. It's not as simple as that, but it's around that. So if we want to bring in two £30 million players, they're going to go, right, well, where's the money? Where's the outgoing for that? And that's why we need the sales. And obviously the two are Rodgers and Martinez. Martinez looks like there's a lot of smoke around him going to Juve, so it looks like that's potentially happening.
Well, mate, people are already writing goodbye messages on Instagram and Twitter.
Well, apparently he's looking for houses already. Like, so I think that's already done. But just back to Rodgers Anderson, how much do you think because of those factors and the fact that we don't have the power, do you think the Anderson deal really does it affect Rodgers' value at all? Really?
Not because of the Anderson deal. I just think with it being a World Cup year, whether you like it or not, the way it works, if Rodgers has the tournament of his life, right, and actually plays through, then we can ask for more money because of just it's more stats, isn't it? So you go, okay, he's worth yes, you could probably sell him for 80 million, but we've got a sell-on clause that we've got to pay Middlesbrough, so we want 120, and then you can compare that with thing. But like you say, you don't know how that ransom kind of will work, and maybe we won't have a choice. But if he has the tournament, then you can just say it's a minimum of 100 million because of the stats he has put up this season. And if if he goes there and influences the England team to win the World Cup or get far in the tournament, it's going to put value on him. It has to, surely.
Well, there's also, I mean, obviously they're different positions, so this is also the interesting thing. People talk about like comparing them. I'm like, they are different players. They offer different things, right? So like Anderson offers you quite a lot of energy in that midfield, keep things ticking. But he only scored like I think 3 goals or something last season. Rogers scored 13 goals.
But this is the other end of it, right? Because like you said, they're 2 different positions. So
13 goals and 11 assists.
Yeah, it's mental.
That's 24 goal contributions. Like that's not even comparable.
It's worth 100 million itself, mate, to any team, right? But at the same time, Elliot Anderson, you could say, is worth the same because he's our Boubacar Kamara, right? That actually you'd almost say
it's worth to the team as well, right?
It's what it's worth to the team. It's what it's worth to the goals you don't concede. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you know when a player like that's missing from your team, and you could arguably it'd be difficult to sit here and say that Elliot Anderson in that position hasn't been the player of the season in that position, right? So he's probably when people have gone, there's no way he's worth that money, but he used to Nottingham Forest, and he used to England. He's been a regular in the England side since Tuchel took over.
Closest examples probably, although that still he was probably still better at the time, was Declan Rice, right? So he went 4 years ago. He went to 100 million from West Ham. And he was so important to West Ham. So it's a bit of a similar kind of vibe there.
That's good. That's a good comparison, mate. I think if you look at that, arguably, again, different players, but that pairing is pretty darn good. And that's why I fancy us. I don't think we'll concede many goals because of our centre-backs, and 2, because of those holding midfielders. They've got to play to their maximum. You worry that, these players have been, particularly Declan Rice, played a lot of football this year. So you don't know, but I watched him, in that game against Costa Rica, last warm-up game, and he's still tracking back 70 yards, Declan Rice, mate. He's like, he's just literally got off a play. And I'm like, some players have just got it in them, mate.
He's such an engine.
That's what you're paying for, mate. You're paying for those little things that players, millionaire players, little knobheads that don't do that because they feel they don't need to. Yeah, I said it. They are fucking millionaires. And this is what I love about the World Cup, that players, some of the games I've seen for these lower ranked teams, they're working their nuts off, mate. They are. You can see that some like that.
That Japan team, mate, they're just non-stop, and they just keep going.
And South Korea, they just don't stop.
Yeah,
it's not about the money; it's about the honour. There's honour left in playing for your country. That's been gone from England for a long time for me. I know Gareth Southgate's done massive strides forward in getting the team together, but have you seen that? I don't know if you've watched it. It's on. I've only watched the first episode, but it's very good. Dear England, about Gareth Southgate.
I haven't watched it yet. I've seen clips.
Yeah. Mate, go and watch it. Really love the first episode. Really good, right?
I just can't get over. I can't get over the weird they kind of like the players. They kind of look like the players. But some of the accents are terrible.
They've been very kind to some of the players. Like the guy who's playing Wayne Rooney is far too good looking to be playing Wayne Rooney.
But I saw a clip and it was Jude Bellingham, and I was like, "What is that accent?
Yeah.
What is that accent? It's terrible." So proper fake.
But in terms of the story and what Gareth did in bringing us back together as a team, magnificent. Me and Sarah fell out of this. I still think we should have won something under Southgate. Like, he was too negative in my opinion. But I'm not taking away that he used a team of psychologists to get into the psyche of the players and bring them back together, where previously they hated each other and the club stuff got in the way and all that kind of stuff. And that's why we've had generations of not winning anything. It's been 60 years, mate. 60 years this year.
Mental. That's mental. Should not have been. You think about the teams we've had, should not have been the case.
Mate, Badil and Skinner, right? 3 Lions.
We've only had one final.
Yeah.
One final.
But, mate, that came out 30 years after the World Cup. It's been another 30 years. That song's been out for 30 years, right? That's crazy. It's crazy. It's madness. But my final point on that is just that we've got to, going back to the money and the value of players of Elliot Anderson and Rodgers and stuff, the work rates, everything. And Rodgers got a lot of stick at the start of the season because he was shit. I mean, those first 6 games, mate, he was awful. He couldn't. It felt like he was a million miles away. Like, you know, all that transfer speculation had been around over Martinez and him himself in the summer last year. And you know, but then to see that middle part of the season and the end, like this guy's a machine. Even Thomas Tuchel said he's a machine. That he's played every minute. So for that valuation alone, these players, when you've got a player that can play 100 games in a calendar year plus and still put a level in, do you know what I mean? Like you go, fuck me. Imagine if this guy was actually nurtured properly and you know, he'd be unstoppable because he's an absolute animal. He's an individual beast in a way, because the way he can, you know, similar to what Grealish was, like ball carrier, but with goals and assists, like you said, 24 goal involvements. Considering it was an inconsistent season, but that 11 game run he went on, he was unplayable. And then towards the end of this season, he's done exactly the same. He's all, and this is why we've had this argument, haven't we? He needs to be rested, and Emery's always stuck with him because he has these moments that he can assist and he can score a goal, and that's why he's kept in. So yeah, it's all very interesting.
Yes, and then finally, last bit we want to talk about is just Visit Rwanda. So obviously, it is going to be a shirt sleeve sponsor. It's also I think there's some boards that are going to be up in.
Mate, just Phil for 1 second. There's a knock at the door. I'll be back.
Typical. All right, great.
Just keep going. I'll be back.
Yeah, great. We'll be on the stadium. Actually, I'm going to pause it. I don't need to keep going. Yeah. And he's back in the room. Yes, Visit Rwanda. It'll be on shirt sleeves. It'll also be on boards. We've seen the photos. Obviously, they were sponsors with Arsenal for I think 10 years. So obviously there was some like stuff around it. Apparently, there was some things that were written to the teams who have Visit Rwanda out on their sponsorship books, I suppose. And also, I think there were some things at the second leg of the Champions League final, or the second leg of the Champions League semi-final, I think last season maybe, there were some Arsenal supporters a small contingent protesting against it as well. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Because I've seen it online and it seems a bit split. Some people are like, that I don't agree with the business and the people of these as a sponsorship. There's other people who are going, I don't care if they're paying the money. You know, we need these sponsors, we need this money, and we talk about the SCR stuff. We need this kind of level of money. What are your thoughts around it?
Well, my thought, a lot of this, mate, it's difficult, isn't it? Because the reason why Arsenal pulled these sponsorships and stuff is for legitimate reasons, right? It's the stuff against. I think.
But the deal did just end, though, I believe. Or it's coming to an end anyway.
Maybe, but there was probably maybe so. But either way, they've been publicly about no, we don't align with their values, right? Because it's about human rights in the Democratic Republic of Congo, whatever. Right now, this is the same. I mean, you could say this is within football, whether it's the World Cup, whether it's in the Premier League, right? Let's be real, right? We've got to be real about how the world works, right? Now, I would love to sit here and say it's all sunshines and rainbows, that every deal that's done in the Premier League is all above board and everyone's lovely, mate, and everyone kind of gets on and nobody fucking is corrupt. But we all know it is, but we've been conditioned.
We've got a country owning Newcastle.
Yeah. Right. Mate, what I'm saying is, I understand. Like, I don't want anyone to be human rights to be taken away or devalued or whatever. And lots of bad things happen all over the world. But let's face it, in the Western world, we sit in our little comfortable bubble, and we kind of we'll go and protest it. But none of you are moving to fucking Rwanda or the Congo and going out there to fight for the actual cause. So unless you're willing to do that, I think you've got to accept that these things happen. Now, I don't want Villa part of this. I don't agree with it. But if it happens, it happens. Or if you're just thinking selfishly in terms of football and what it means for the club, then it's money. And it's interesting because I had this. I don't know if you remember, but probably when we first started this and we first got the Patano sponsorship deal, and I was like, we should have Acorns. Like, oh no, we need the 40 million. Well, why can't we? Well, yeah, we do, but like, it was all about the money then. But we can't be connected to a local charity that does amazing work for families all over the city. You'd rather have money, like so. it's the same sort of thing. You're not happy to support disabled kids with life-limiting conditions that have horrific quality of life, right? You'd rather have 40 million from a betting company, but you've got a problem with Rwanda because what's the difference? But you don't. Now the money's a problem. What? So I think there's a lot of hypocrisy going on it now. Again, like I said, it'd be nice if these deals could just these people don't exploit people, but it happens. And unless we all go, we're not watching the product, and we're not doing it, we don't agree with it, and it goes down, that ain't going to change. So I'd love to be part of that. Maybe we should start a revolution, but then we'll probably go missing because you just. Mate, look,
there's lots of stuff like you said about it. It's like everyone's kind of forgot about all the damage and all the underworld that crypto does, and everyone's got like crypto kind of like sponsors all over the place. It's not like it's Visit Rwanda on the front of the shirt; it's on the sleeve. Like I'd have a bigger problem if it was like SpaceX or something on the front of the shirt. I'd be like, okay, this is a bit weird, but
Elon Musk, fucking trillionaire. What a knob he's just. Mate, this is what I'm talking about, right? All these people, whether it's Elon Musk or anyone with these sponsorship deals, any sponsorship deal, like people are being ripped off and people are being exploited. Like it happens. Like we're exploited. Like as everyday folk, you're working for a company that's earning probably billions, all of you, and you're getting paid peanuts, right? With no fucking, benefits really, other than you've just work harder. If you work hard, it's nonsense. It's work smarter, not harder. That 1% club will not want to be broken, and will probably be fucking assassinated for stuff like this. But you ain't breaking it. These deals aren't happening. They don't want you to. You can't go up against it unless you're a trillionaire. Unless you've got the money, resources, and you can benefit these people.
Elon Musk has just turned into a trillionaire, which is pretty mental. Yes,
I cannot believe we live in a world where that's happened. And so
that's I wonder if he'll buy a football team at some point. It's probably not. It doesn't compute in his head, but like it would be quite interesting.
Mate, the world
It'll come out with a new football team. It'll just be called X Club. Like that'll be it. Just XFC.
It's just so wrong, isn't it? But we are. I think if you look at the World Cup in itself right now, we are a capitalist society, right? It's just the dynamic ticking pricing. Everyone moans about it, but then people still pay it.
Quickly on that, so Jess's dad, he was telling me about a friend of his who really likes NFL. And so they were going to sit because the NFL comes to UK like once a year, right? I think it's going to be like the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And it's the dynamic ticket pricing. And so he said his mate asked him if he wanted to go. His mate asked Graham's mate if he wanted to go.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. He said, yeah, just whatever, on the tickets and stuff. Then it comes through 2 tickets, 950 quid.
For the pair?
For the pair. £475 a ticket for this dynamic pricing. It basically, it was like 220,000 in the queue or something like that. Honestly, and I said, I guarantee you within the next 5 years, there will be games in the Premier League that have that. Guarantee. Well, Chelsea will probably start it.
Mate, this is the problem, right? This is the divide that it brings, and this is my issue with the Rwanda stuff as well. Really, is that you kind of the people that will pay that and accept it don't give a fuck about the people that are complaining about it. No. So also, if you've got you've got the people down here who want to fight for human rights and morally sit on a good high ground and want the right thing to happen, but the reality is, the people that have got the money just want the money. They don't care about the human rights. They don't care about the people below it. And so we all, we've done it with Villa season ticket prices. We've gone, you're outpricing people, and they are, right? But they don't care. The club don't care about us.
Because we care about the club.
They don't care about us, right? They just want your money, and they'll have it. They don't care about the atmosphere, regardless of how much Unai Emery says he wants an atmosphere at Villa Park. It's going to kill it, and that's happened up and down the country and around the world, right? Apart from countries that don't let it happen. It doesn't happen in South America. It doesn't happen in lots of mainstream Europe because they're fan-based owned. But in the biggest products in the world, like America with the NFL and stuff like that, they just fleece you because they can. They want the most money out of it they possibly can. And with the people that complain about it will just be shunted to one side because while the people that can afford it will do it. And it's as simple as that. And that success because you want to believe that the majority of us are in a better place that want, and particularly sport, that it should be accessible for all. It shouldn't be about those who can afford it get to go. That's not. It's just it's not fair. But that is the world we live in. I'm afraid.
I agree. Right, is that your final words, or are you going to end on a positive note?
The positive note is, mate, yeah, that's my final words on that. It's a bit depressing, right? But the positive is England, Wednesday, 9 p.m., mate. Live watch along. Hopefully, more than 12 of you will tune in for that one.
Yeah. We'll be doing a preview tomorrow. It will go out tomorrow.
Yes.
So keep tuned for that as well.
And I'm going back to the start of the show, mate. My prediction: England will win the World Cup. There we go. All right. And if we don't, then I'll sit here and just kind of cry about it, but and take all the abuse. It's fine. But as always, until tomorrow. Every week we follow the boys in the USA. Argentina Wednesday as well, by the way. Boom.
Very nice. See you.